How the other video turned out?
I have a lot of improv. I have footage of you talking to your mom. I have a lot of sound that wasn't recorded, but Matt's sound came out really nicely, so I still have to sift through that. I will show the website I added to it.
Okay, cool.
And I uploaded 4 seconds of the video for its test.
I did a couple of the palettes just to
Hey.
get an idea what the colors could look like. The designs, whatever. Anybody
That's
could do
cool.
whatever. That was supposed to be the cream and red one that someone suggested, and then I also had
That's one a syllabus for a class.
And then I also have on here the like yellowish orange one that I recommend that
Oh,
I said.
wow, that's pretty.
I like that's good.
And again, no one has to use these designs. They're just some. And I'm gonna do the purple and the teal one next. So I just threw that up there.
Oh, yeah. How did you do this? Like, did you go to the website? Because that's the video that I uploaded.
Yeah, I took that off of the website
That's
so I could stick it there. So you get an idea. Like I was gonna also put down on the side like the forum boards and things, and I was like, God, this is just a sample. Who gives a crap? So I didn't
So
do
let
it.
me becoming famous, Matthew.
I don't like it. I don't like being photographed. I have to turn into like, I don't know.
Oh,
You have to
are
pretend
you
that
part
you're
of that
not
dogma that, like,
we're doing
believes when you take a picture of someone, like, you take part of their soul away or something?
No, I just think I look fat.
Well, I'm skinny, man. Who cares?
Cameras add pounds. That's the problem though with cameras. Like all of
It's
them
not
do.
okay.
Okay,
I'm
Right,
always
but-
supposed to be coming, so
I think this will work.
1 second.
Oh, yeah, sure. Don't start the presentation yet.
Okay.
I'll show you guys the
Okay.
website I got cooked up.
Alright, no, I just wanted to see if it would like load it all. If it wasn't gonna, then.
It did it. Hey, high five. Yeah,
Yay.
worked.
Microsoft Emacs
Decapitated
together at once.
sea lion head USB thingy.
Yes.
All right,
Shit on
so
normal baby seal. What's left of him?
baby seal, decapitated baby seal.
Yep.
That sounds like a death metal.
Actually, that'd be a great death metal
That
band.
probably does exist
Maybe not.
Ironically, they sing about sunshine and rainbows.
somewhere. Oh
Death metal band
yeah.
that sings about sunshine and rainbows. I might actually listen to one of those just for the variety.
Can't imagine that, just like screaming.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sunshine.
good to have you back, man.
Okay.
Wherever you want.
Love your neighbors.
You could just usurp somebody else's seat, or you can like.
I was about to.
Ooh, nice word, usurp. Is that legal lingo now? You're like,
I'm
oh.
trying to work it in there slowly.
Maybe if she's like in the 18th century, usurp the kingdom, but I don't know if we use that these days.
I think I've seen it relatively recently. It's kind of going out of style a little bit.
I like using those as well this time.
Hey, hello. Huh?
Is it President Gary?
Oh, but that was like a fast phrase. You caught me off guard for a second. It's going good. How are you?
Did you make a Red Sox jersey and do it first?
No. Everybody asked me that though. I should have, but it's like
I
someone
was gonna
else-
say like that is top notch.
I wish I was that cool, but
Okay. I don't know why it's being so slow, but just bear with me. It could be your decapitated otter head, okay? That's
Could
messing
be.
me up.
In which case, I'm sorry. Its evil curse is obviously spreading to your friends.
It's okay. It's gay. Oh, I should probably disable this so that we have. Yeah, there we go. That's a lot nicer. All right.
It was much cooler when it had the rest of it. And it could stand like a cute, yeah.
Okay.
Oh well.
So, yeah, this is kind of like what I've got cooked up so far. I put a tab here that shows like the weekly meetings, and here's a presentation sign up. So if anybody wants to do a presentation, just click here, and there's a cool form that you fill out when you want to make one, and I will have it all in here. And you know, like anything that's like a form comes back to the Google Drive I've got set up, so it's like really nice and organized. So we don't have to go crazy when we gotta take a look who does what. Then I got the stay connected links for the Facebook group. I made a Goodreads page, the mailing list, and their YouTube page. So it's functional. It doesn't look so pretty. It looks kind of detrimental actually, but it's functional.
Did you
And
play the 4 seconds of the video?
sure, there's no audio
Oh.
because like the microphone didn't pick it up. It's just me, good Matt, doing some bullshit.
Like a weird voice.
And I also edited the resource page. I've got a really cheesy Stephen King quote, but I'm gonna add like some of the books that like we were assigned as English majors and also creative writing books. So if anybody has any suggestions on what to put up there,
Yes. Sorry.
yeah, no, you know, just go to the. I can make a, or you can make a. Wait, can you? Have I given you guys privileges to like create documents and edit them in Google Drive?
Well, I mean, I'm sure we could share them with like the other officers. I mean, if we meet with everybody, I don't know.
I have the pass. Does anybody else want the password for the? Okay, no then. I'll just make a new form so that we can write like what ideas we got for the resources page. But this is going. It looks like it's kind of my work, but I have yet to even fiddle with any of these over here. So
Your choice.
yeah,
Fiddle.
man, I can't tell if you're being serious or sarcastic here.
No, I mean I am being serious.
It's a promising layout.
Yeah, I like it.
It's really basic. Like this is all WordPress. I did not lay this out my own, but
It's a forums. If you click on forums, do we have any?
oh no, and like I showed this to my boss who does websites, and he's like, "Don't do a forum. It's a terrible idea because people are gonna flame wars and it's terrible." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
the
well,
moderator's sitting on there basically with this, waiting to start.
He's part right.
I mean, he probably is. So I'm thinking about that. But still,
Forums are a bad
You need
choices.
moderators and
yeah, I know,
So
Josh.
steal people from computer sciences. I say, hey, come over here and join this club so you can practice.
Join or die.
you be a moderator. Become a mod.
Yeah, sure, that's what everyone wants to do for free.
Yeah, see, everybody here is like, they're
There's
talking
no
about how
law.
great it is to be a moderator. Nobody wants to do it, and
It's a ban people.
You could just set up something like Two Shoes, where
Two Shoes.
they would just send in questions to a thing, and nobody else can see it unless you go on once a day or you have somebody go on. They just read through a couple of them and post the good questions or the good statements.
so you.
That way you don't have someone constantly watching it. People would
Yeah.
just put up a question, and then you would later on have somebody go through, and you could do it yourself or anybody could do it. Then you just look through, read a couple of them, dispose of ones you don't think are good enough or don't make any sense or use profanity you don't want used.
What phrase did you just give me? A two shoe?
It's called Two Shoes.
Two
One
Shoes.
one of my classes, the teacher uses
Uh-huh.
it. You can log in, you can type in a question, and then he just has like TAs sit in the back of the class refreshing the page, and whenever a good question pops up, they put it up on the screen.
That sounds like it needs a lot of moderation, which is kind of like what we want less of. Like, honestly, I think it might be the best idea to not even make a forum. Like,
Well,
maybe have.
Would you be able to just let them flex for a week and then at the end of 1 week have someone just
Because then if there's some like serious problem, you'd be able to see 5 or 6 questions on there with that. A couple people would put something up, hey, this is something I'm having trouble with, and once a week you can go on, respond to that one question, and post it.
So would that mean I'd have to like freeze the forum every now and then to
No.
kind of like?
It just
it's
goes.
I think I know what he's talking about. It's kind of like I don't know, this is a dumb example, like how U of A confessions, like how they
Yeah.
have like a subscription, not something monkey, like a question monkey, or like someone like posts something or something, and then like we clearly don't get the volume that U of A confessions does, but you just let it build up, and then like you go on and like you choose the best examples and you put them on there. So it's like no one really even gets to comment on other people's work. It just and you don't even have to do it like constantly. You can do it like once every 3 days.
You're cherry picking like people's like comments and responses.
Right.
Ooh,
It's a little spooky.
yeah, that is.
I like it.
I don't know. I think that'd be good because some people could just troll.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get a lot of
It could
trollers.
be better. The only thing about it that's kind of annoying
Only
is
takes one.
the fact that people probably wouldn't feel their voices are getting heard. That's the only thing. But yeah, there's always the problem of who no one wants to moderate.
You said two-step, two-door. What was it?
Two sheets.
Two
Talk to
shoes.
computer scientists,
ours
give them an internship for one of them to maintain the website and moderate.
Oh
it.
yeah,
That way they
right
can
now
send
it is
people.
way over my head.
It's just
Yeah.
They can get credit for it. They get, and then the website also gets looked at by someone who's actually a professor over there or something.
Anyway, unless anybody has any other input, I guess we're gonna get on with Samantha. No, God damn it! I always
Samantha Junior, that's like what it is.
I don't even go by Samantha, funny enough, I go by Sam.
You're my Sam, and I do call you Sam, but it's
Like on a 1 to 10 ratio.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Amanda's presentation.
If it was easier.
So yeah, Amanda, come on up and do the do.
Regale everybody with my wisdom. Really.
I mean, do you want me to if you want to stand up and I can move the keyboard, or do you want to come to the computer?
I don't know that it matters. Just kind of a small room. Everyone can see me, right?
It's up to you. You are the holder of the decapitated otter head.
that represents
I feel like that should be an actual officer
Or the
An
position.
officer, like, okay, the title
Yeah,
that gets
or a
announced
title
every
at
single year.
least.
I can draw that. Yeah, I know you could.
But you're like a little medal that gets handed out at the end of every year. You're the person who held on to
The
this.
best wiener gets the decapitated.
Alright, I'll use.
Oh, you know how to go full screen? Yeah. Cool.
Hmm.
Way forward. Yeah. Sweet.
Okay, I don't know why is this so dinky. What the heck?
Oh,
It's
so
on a self.
these are like your notes or whatever, but
I don't really have any notes.
why is this?
Oh, but it looks good up there. It looked weird down here. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't think
It's cool.
it's not gonna automatically switch you, so you should
That's
be
good.
fine.
That's good.
Yeah, like it just shows you what the next slide's gonna be.
Okay, because I thought, oh no, that's up there. It's gonna look really funky. It's not. It's cool. Everything's cool. All right, so I'm just gonna talk really briefly about the College of Humanities Academic Advisory Board, like more the ambassador program. What it is you can do it as an internship or just to sign up for fun. Either way, I prefer the internship honestly because it's easy and you get credit for it, but you don't have to. Basically, what it is that you sign up and you end up being an ambassador for the humanities. You go to different events, you help set up stuff for the humanities, you talk to students, you're available for like incoming freshmen to ask questions and say, so what can the humanities do for me? And when you're doing the internship, it's actually a lot easier because they tell you what to say. If you're not in the internship, you kind of go, well, jobs? You know, so it's not as helpful. So yes, basically, we're going to events, meeting prospective students, various departments. I've actually talked now to study abroad, see career services, a whole bunch of different people. We do little presentations at the end of the semester, actually to kind of bring everyone else up to speed. What we're hoping to do eventually is actually have a database so that actual students can come in to talk to us and we'll say, luckily we've been to career services or, you know, whatever, or study abroad, and we know all these answers already. You don't even have to go over there and talk to them. Kind of just cutting out the middleman, I guess. Yeah, with the internship, again, you can learn about opportunities about your college, you can learn about further internships, or you can actually find out kind of where the humanities are going. The thing I was kind of looking at recently was digital humanities and how working with actually kind of what George is doing, working with kind of with computer science and bringing the humanities into that. So I joined. One, you can earn credit, but I have to promote the internship because that's what I'm in, and honestly, it's the easiest 3 units I've ever earned in my entire life. It's amazing. So yeah, it's easy to do. You actually get real world skills. You have to go out there, talk to real people, talk to professionals, meet folks, look presentable, answer questions, all the fun stuff. So you get used to talking to people, you get used to meeting people, you get to make connections. It's really helpful. Let's see here. So yeah, you meet with people in your majors. Honestly, it's pretty straightforward. So let's see here. This is actually kind of an example of what it looks like on the D2L. So right now there's actually 5 modules, but you have like an entire month to do each module, and it looks like a lot, but it actually isn't. This is just an article, then here's what you're doing, article, discussion, and that's like a paragraph they have to do. Oh my god, in a month. I swear, it's the easiest 3 units I have to promote that one just because it also goes in your resume. You can say I was a leader, I did stuff. So if you want to have more information, you can just go here. There's a couple of things, like right now we're working on trying to, I guess, improve communication between departments. Like right now I'm trying to actually track down the various clubs on campus, well certainly not on campus, and for the College of Humanities and put them in touch with one another. So hopefully by the fall semester we'll be able to put clubs in touch with freshmen. There'll be actually like not exactly a recruitment event, but you know, something kind of like that where freshmen get to meet with their clubs. We're going to hopefully have recognition events for clubs. Like I said, we talked to Study Abroad was the most recent one that I did, where we're trying to actually get them in touch with us. We managed to get new brochures printed out actually for study abroad programs that specifically dovetailed with the humanities, so that we have them with us all the time. Anyone asking, we say, luckily, I have that one for the Ukraine, or whatever, and here's exactly how it counts. So, with time, we'll have more stuff. Obviously, we're still kind of getting started, but if anyone's interested, we have these. Also, in case anyone would like, I do have some handouts. If you want to take them and maybe, I don't know, give them to some interested freshmen or something. You can do that. It requires, what is it, a 2.75 GPA minimum, which is not so bad. Really, I mean, I think study abroad's a little bit higher than that, so in case anyone's interested, that's pretty much it. Unless anyone has questions.
Well, yeah, we will.
Are there other like prerequisites or just
No, I mean, as far as I know, you have to be a humanities student, but I'm double majoring, and so I know that that's not a problem. So I think that's basically it.
Well, I gotta, like you've mentioned like joining all these different clubs a lot of times. What do you hope will be the outcome of like that occurrence?
I'm hoping ultimately that the clubs will end up having more support from the actual college, because I know, like, for instance, the problem that we're having is it's difficult to meet with other students. No one can, it's hard to have any, like, I guess, not just FaceTime, but even, like, showing up. Most people don't even know about the clubs that exist, and we're hoping to support them, and again, with the recognition events, everyone will be invited, just, hey, come to the club, so you did a good job. That's what we're hoping to do. We get to reward the officers who came and did all the hard work for that semester. I'll receive them off. At the same time introducing everybody to everybody else. Really what it is trying to create kind of a humanities community as much as possible. So
And these are all humanities clubs, right, that you're specifically targeting?
I am also talking a little bit with, the Asian Pacific Islanders, like, club, I forgot the name, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm also talking with them kind of through the Chinese culture clubs. I'm hoping to, if possible, to still have communication between various departments. That's ultimately my goal. This is very hard. Most of the departments are not so friendly. It's strange. So, but that's ultimately what we end up seeing, is trying to bring everyone together.
What about the time constraints? Like, how often do you have to work, and is it semester or like yearly?
It's actually yearly, which is kind of awesome. You are required to go to like a total of 5 events over the course of the semester. But I mean, that could be like 15 minutes of your time for one event, depending on what it is. I've done, like, remember the, like, Humanities Week, where they had all these, like, different seminars and everything? I signed up to come help set up, put some tables out, tablecloths left, and that counts as an event. At the same time, you can do the more intense stuff, like I actually volunteered to Tucson Festival of Books for a couple of hours. That counted. So it's kind of flexible and up to you. We have lots of events all the time that you can do, or they can work with your schedule to say, hey, oh my god, I'd love to, but I can't. There are meetings, but again, if you can't make them, they can work around it. It's very flexible, so.
How long have you been with the ambassadors program?
Since the middle of last semester, actually. I actually was doing the ambassador thing before I signed up for it, which is weird, because the one that they were working with wasn't around, so they're just like, Amanda, you're in the office, come talk to students. So it's kind of fun.
So it's like you physically go around talking to people about this. Is there like a heavy online aspect of this internship position?
There is, because there's actually different working groups. I'm not in any of the working groups that deal with like social media or web pages or anything. There are groups that do. I can try to put you in touch with, I think his name is Chris Kaplan. Sorry, there's a lot of ambassadors, I don't necessarily know everybody.
Is the email on the presentation?
His personal email is not, but I do have the Facebook page up there, and he's the one who maintains the Facebook.
Okay, cool.
So if you
I'll
tried
add
it-
it on the little post thing.
Yeah, and I think, or is it on here? I don't think they put it on here, no. So yeah, I can leave it up, or we can email it out to anybody if they're all interested in checking that out. But yeah, there's definitely possibilities for working in basically a field that interests you.
What is like the application cycle when you start applying?
Actually, this one, the application is kind of coming up, so it's actually the 11th, so next Friday is the deadline to sign up for like the coming year. But it looks like we're going to be actually trying to get people in like every semester. That's what we're hoping to do. So we always have, fresh blood, and as we're losing people to graduation, so.
My last question is like, once you graduate, that's it. You can't do like. Well, nobody's here in the summer, so I guess like there's no point in having college.
Yeah, they're still working on it. They want me to stay actually, even though I'm
Yeah.
graduating, but they don't know if they have like an official. I mean, obviously I can't do an internship if I'm not a student.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work. But from what I understand, they would be totally pleased if I came back like a year from now and decided I'm going to talk to students as an ambassador again. So as far as I know, that's still okay.
But they just wouldn't pay you.
Well, no, I don't get paid as an intern either, so
Yeah, true.
I get credit. That's what it really comes down to, and I get to put on a resume. I was a leader.
Because I mean, this is cool. Like, do you go to high schools or do you? I mean.
Yeah, actually, for like the Arizona road trip, we actually bring high school students in from around Arizona. You get to meet with all of them. It's actually kind of awesome.
Do you guys make any booths? Like, so how much freedom do you have? Like, can you make a really badass looking booth about like reading and have all these cool like old characters from like, medieval poetry or whatever, and then like juxtapose them with comic book characters and be like, yeah, like you like this, like that comes from this, and like that can interest you, or you can't. Is it really regulated by?
We're still working on some of the presentations. I have given a couple different ideas. This is actually from last semester, so we don't actually have a whole lot of the stuff. You can kind of see some of the brochures and everything else. What we're trying to get is a couple different props. Right now what we have on there is like the Persona magazine printout, some other things, like I think the German studies, they have like a calendar that comes out, we have that. We're working on getting like little flags from around the world. We're also going to be having eventually like a kind of a roll-up poster that'll go there, kind of list jobs that end up being available for the humanities or where it can take you. I know that we're open for suggestions all the time. So I mean, if you decided to join and you said, hey, by the way, Jeremiah, since he's the advisor, is in charge of it, I had this idea to do comic books. He might be totally down for that, because I know he's open to basically any suggestion that he's able to make work. And that's really kind of what it comes down to. It's not that it's regulated, it's that it does have to look professional. I mean, that's obviously a requirement. If you're going to be recruiting students, you don't want to have like, I stapled this together in my backyard, you know, kind of a look. You know, but they're always looking for ideas, and so I would say pitch it, you know, if you were interested in doing that, or if you wanted to even stop by the office and say, I have a plan.
And where is your office?
I'm actually in Modern Languages 345.
Got it. Anybody else have any questions?
And I was wondering, so does it count for like pass fail, or is it like an actual grade? Do they give you a grade?
It's like it's a pass fail, you know, SPF I think is what it is. So, but I mean, honestly, as long as you do any of the work, you're gonna pass. It's pretty simple. So, anybody else?
Cameraman?
No.
No?
Cameraman says it's it.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, if you want to even pass them out, if you know somebody who would be interested. You know? Okay, well let me just like set this right here in case he wants to pass the camera or whatever.
It's too hipster for me. I can't do the snaps.
Everybody at home? Everybody at home? Keep the extras. Keep the extras.
Oh yeah, if you want to. Yeah, I know we send it on the listserv, but people don't always look at that, you know. That's the problem.
Oh yeah, I actually made a presentation about
What class?
for a media arts class. It was awesome. And it was actually a lot harder to do than I thought it was.
How do you do that? How do you like play or record from a screen?
Do you really want to know?
No.
It's really, really easy. So like QuickTime is like, you know, comes with every Mac. You just go to File, New Screen Recording. That's it. There are other third-party software like you're on Windows. Like there's, I don't know what the names are, but like you know you can find some cheap, or there's actually a couple free ones. But
Really? Oh, I need a few.
this is a media player, okay? Like it plays videos, but it has the function to record. See, and I've got her presentation here. So, oh, this recorded my voice too. Terrible. Yeah, it's all here. So, yeah, technology.
Does it record Herbert's voice too?
Yeah, record her voice. So anyway, I'm not gonna strut my technological ballad here. or whatever. Oh,
Is that what we're doing now?
Matt, unless you want to get up and dance for us or something.
No, I mean like the thing we're supposed to be doing.
Let's do it, man.
Okay. So basically, we're gonna do a short writing exercise today. It's nothing really too special. It's just a character building exercise. And so, does everyone have something to write with, or no?
No? Who wants paper?
Please.
Okay.
Let's.
Character building. Term that can be taken several different ways.
It's like
How many papers do you have?
Not writing.
Dude,
That's how you
do you know how to use a pencil? You're right, man.
I don't, honestly.
Dude, come on, man.
If I write in like gibberish.
We need more of you. Hey, what about okay, writing pencil. Everybody got one?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't. I left it at home. I'll go
Dude.
get it. I'll go get it.
Dude, we can't accept that.
Why do you
You
think
know,
this is
you're
fun?
meeting
It's like we're gonna be grading this.
I'm writing Chinese.
It's not the idea of me grading it. I can write a little bit in Chinese.
Yeah, there you go. Write it in Chinese really quick, then we know it can
Dude,
translate.
like write something funny or whatever.
I don't know anything funny. I know what my teacher tells me, and she's not very funny.
That's pretty
Let's see.
Okay, so basically the idea for the exercise is think of a character you've written up before. Maybe not a major one, or preferably not a major one. And if you haven't written before, just think of a character in your head. And then give that character a background story. Because a lot of people tend to write characters with just an idea of who they are, but not what they've been through. And so I want you just to give him or her a background story, and you know, just take about how much time do we have left? We'll take about
You got 29 minutes, man.
probably 10 to 15 minutes of the exercise, and then we'll share, or whoever wants to share. Yes.
Okay, so you have to think of any character you have not come up with a single backstory for.
Yeah.
That's it. Ouch. That's a difficult one.
Well, you know,
Or reframe the
Or
backstory,
like-
rework it.
Yeah, or just like some like take one of your favorite characters, or you can expand. You can take one of your favorite characters that you've done a lot with, and maybe just expand
I
upon
don't
them.
need to expand it. They're pretty big already.
You can always make up a new character.
Oh
Yeah.
God, don't let me do that. I'll make up something huge.
you can always. Yeah, pretty much.
Uh,
Alright, so, you want me to just kind of time this? Like, how much time did you say?
10 to 15 minutes.
Alright, I will put the timer. It'll be a nice little jingle. Let's see who can think of the most badass backstory. Alright, timer started. Alright, so,
what a nice little alarm that was.
yeah,
Fun.
I love it.
It's all polite.
Alright,
Gentle.
not everybody has to share, but it'd be really badass if we did. Who wants to start? Who's got the components here? Alright, Matt.
So I just have to alright, so basically the character I did was like a minor character from a story called Pence. He in the story he's an old magician who's like really good like with a deck of cards. And so I warn you, I'm a very stylistic writer, so this might not be as detailed as it's supposed to be, but do we read the entire thing?
Read it, but like I'm a little confused. So like, what does this character do in your story?
Like he's like, alright, so he's basically like the learned wizard who teaches a young magician like how to do card tricks.
Okay, got it.
Alright, so there once was a man. Well, not once. There is, there were, there are, there shall be a man. A man named Pence. Pence is tall. Pence has brown hair. Pence pontificates beyond no imaginable end until the mortuaries of negative finite go tick-tock, rock, lock, and end. Pence was born in 1892 in a city. The city does not matter, neither does the birth. Pence is what matters, or the matter is Pence. He was raised in a home that appeared to have plagiarized the beams, sawed, and proliferating holes in the bricks of Oliver Twist's orphanage. Mr. Dickens would be quite infuriated with Pence's childhood home, I'd imagine. I believe Pence imagined such a thing as well, but I am not one to speak on the matters of Pence or Pence's matters. Pence was exhaustible as a child in the manner of being teased. He would be so violently and brutally teased that it simply exhausted Pence to where he grew tired of it, and tired of being tired of it, and so on. And so he waved the teasings off much like a wisp of a cat hair on the tongue. It stuck there, but it eventually comes out and goes in, and comes out and goes in. One day Pence was traveling, perhaps walking is a better word, perhaps any suggestion, chugging, trudging, chugging, perpendicular rotations and exhilarating toward the planet's opposite direction is a better word, phrase. Anyway, Pence was doing whatever verb you'd like to choose from my last sentence, and he came upon a deck of cards. The deck was magic, not by my understanding, but by the childhood whimsy of Pence, or at least the false whimsy he kept up to keep the cat hair teasing away. And so the deck was magic, and Pence loved the magic deck, and so Pence used the deck and went on using the deck. That is another story for the time when Pence lives that other story.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's where your rap comes into it. You
Yeah.
have kind of like a fluid style that goes into your writing. It's like when you're rapping.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very alliterative. I little like the words. It
Yeah.
sounds like music. It's good.
That was not a description, that was a story.
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like
Now
now
you
you
were-
I know I'm gonna rock one day.
Like, I was thinking I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that was so good, I'm just like, I'm not reading that.
Hey, you know, like, freestyle, you know, you do what you can.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, it
I
was
wrote
good.
the rules.
It was really good.
It was great.
Way to set the bar, man.
Yeah.
When you're there and the rest of us are like, oh.
I'll go next and like set the bar really low. Everybody else can hold it.
Go for it.
I did not do that. I did bullet points. My character's name is Sarah. It was for a really short story. It was like a story assignment. But she's like really old and senile, and she's living like with her daughter and like her daughter's husband. And they think that she's like deaf, but she's actually really intelligent, and she just doesn't care to speak to people who she feels is like incompetent. So she doesn't really talk to them. She's like a sassy old lady. So yeah. So Sarah. The furthest she walks on a daily basis is about half a mile, which includes her getting out of bed, walking to the shower, getting a cup of tea, going to the mailbox, and then walking back to the sofa. She's 79 years old, lived through the Great Depression, and consequently was a hoarder her whole life. Her favorite items to hoard are saran wrap, napkins, bread, and cat food for a cat that she hasn't seen for the last quarter century. She can't remember much, and her memory is getting worse, but she has managed to retain her spicy sense of humor her whole life. She had moved 6 times in her life, 5 of which were to increasingly bigger houses in the same neighborhood. She also lived once in Paris with a lot of U.S. expats during the 50s. She believes in the healing power of herbal teas and warm showers, and most of her meals are cooked with large portions of butter. She had been a major supporter and activist during the women's civil rights movement. She also never married. She once waved to President John F. Kennedy during his inauguration parade. He once waved back. She was the most influential among her friends at any bingo table. She never took no for an answer. She drinks Bacardi, not in the morning, and not like P. Diddy. She continued to work with issues in women's equality until 2009. She lives with her goldfish and only daughter in Pasadena.
That thing
I wasn't
with,
really low, actually, the
that
art.
thing with John F. Kennedy, like, as incredible of a moment it might have been for this character, it also shows like how sad her life was. Like that's like one of those things that she quotes about, you know.
Yeah.
I thought it was inspired.
I don't know. I
Like,
think
if I
it's
met
like,
something like that, I would be like,
I think the writing style you use, like, I would, if you didn't write your story like that, I think you should, because I think,
It's like very like.
I think it goes well because it adds to like how Sarah is sassy, like, cause your writing style is very sassy too, like you just punch bullets in there, and so like, I don't want that to be a criticism, that's good, and so like, yeah, I love those little minor details too, like a cat that she hasn't seen in a quarter century, she still hoards food for,
yeah.
like it works very well, and so like, if you ever go back and revise your story, like just flood it with those kind of things.
Yeah, I really like the description too. You could really imagine her.
Those details were awesome. It made her seem like such a real person. Like I was wondering, have you based her on something?
Yeah,
or-
did you base this person off of something you know?
No.
Way to play stereotypes. Little babies. Who's next?
You beat super.
Oh wait, you can't do that to me. I just posted. Fine. I'll do that.
Whatever, sorry.
Alright, so I gotta pencil myself in here. Okay, priest. So, I wrote a short story a while ago that I never showed to anybody because it's stupid. But it's about a priest who gets off on talking about the end of the world to like all the people that are in his like sermon. And he loves it, like when he gets excited when he hears it. But then it turns out like he gets a vision from Christ, and Christ tells him that the end of the world is coming, and then he freaks out and he starts to live like the life he should have lived. His backstory is he came from a bad family, was molested by his uncle. His father one time beat up his mom. He always had a teenage dream of becoming a saxophone player, but his parents said that it was not a very lucrative career path, and they wanted him to pick something more lucrative and socially prestigious. He decided to be a priest after feeling the pain from leaving his teenage dream of being a saxophone player, because he thought that being a priest would have the social prestige that his parents always wanted him to have. And he has spent a miserable life preaching to the ignorant townsfolk of the small town that he's from about the end of days. That's this character. That was sad.
That's quite a backstory, my goodness. That's heavy.
That was depressing.
But
Yeah.
that explains why he kind of is
Well,
preaching. Because he didn't have such a good life, it sounds like. I mean, he had troubles and stuff.
I think it's realistic though. Well, maybe not molestation, but well, I mean that does happen, but not like but
Like real life came into play, like you had to lead the saxophone.
like I mean who can't relate with having like a childhood dream
Oh,
of like
yeah.
wanting to like learn to play an instrument and then like having that dashed away.
I based this character off real life. Like my family's Catholic, and I went to church with my grandma one day, and there was this priest who was talking about the end of the world with a big smile on his face, like he was ready for it. after that, like I was always just kind of like curious as to like what kind of person this is. You know, is it someone who really wants the end of the world to come, or is it someone who's just using that to propagate, you know, bring more people in to believe or whatever? So, yeah, good ready.
Since we're on the dark path.
Okay, fine. Wait, that's the one for
I guess this is a story I wrote. Matt was in my class. It's about two friends who grew up together. They're two young girls, and they went to high school together. And they're basically kind of drawn towards each other in a stark contrast. Like they grew up in different kinds of homes. So I'll just read my backstory. When she was 3, Piper Petrie held a tiny bug in her finger. It was small, black, and blue like her eye that day. But she could see through the transparent wings as it took off over the rusted swing set in her yard, running after and stopping when it flew over the house. She would leave that place most days, into the back alley through the white gate to see her best friend Harmony. Harmony would collect shiny bugs that came into her yard, but would also collect the black and blue ones too. Piper got to eat warm food that she never got to eat at her own home, but they also ate candy and sugar. It was a dark day when Harmony found Piper all grown up, crying out her window. Both eyes were black and blue that day. Piper told Harmony that it was like wearing your bones up from outside, one crack in your downfall.
I like that metaphor a lot.
I was gonna do a backstory called Little Bug, and oh shit, I forgot a line in this. It just said she was crying like a cricket outside her door.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like a cricket. There's like food metaphors. Well, not metaphors, but you mentioned food a lot. Like not only the sugar and the candy, but also like she got to eat food that she didn't get to eat at her house. Like why is food such an important thing for the character?
I always thought like showing what food people eat was like a really showing thing in writing. Like you kind of, you know, people that eat processed food or, you know, they eat like food cold. It kind of says something about, I don't know, to me.
You are what you eat kind of thing?
In a way, and then you go to people's houses where like the whole house smells like food, and then, you know, it's warm, it's homemade. I don't know, it just, for me, it just speaks volumes.
Well, what was she was just like a young girl, your character?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just kind of, but I guess they went to like high school together, and then it is kind of like, it is kind of tragic because they do feed off of each other in a way. Like you have, you know, they come from two different homes, so, you know, Harmony really wants to kind of save Piper, but you know, can she kind of save Piper without risking herself in a way? Like, it becomes kind of, I guess, a conflict with the story is you know, what you do for friendship in that circumstance. So yeah, just, you know, young girls, well, it's just kind of character based.
Well, who wants to do that? Well, but are you raising your hand or?
I've been sort of vaguely raising my hand.
Okay,
It's
you've
not
been raising
super,
your
it's
hand
not
for a
super
while.
important. I mean, this is going to be super generic compared to everybody else. That's the problem.
I mean, go for it. I think you wanted to go earlier. Just.
Okay, there's too much backstory to give. All you need to know is this particular character worked for a bad guy. She got killed. Second scene she appeared in. She doesn't even have a name. I don't care. Anyway, it's a magical universe. There's magic. That's the only thing.
Oh, but what does she do in your story?
She helps to create a nightmare, and then the bad guy she works for kills her because she was trying to get him to rape his daughter, and he didn't appreciate that particularly because that was not actually what he hired her to do.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, there's too much. It's huge. So, anyway, so she's actually only 87. She's now 300. She's a witch, by the way. She's a granddaughter in a long line of witches, like another group that no one knows about. She survived on moss, lichen, lemmings, and other minimal subsistence items while growing up. Though the more folk don't mind pagan magic, they're still wary of witches, so she had to live more or less alone with her mother. She survived on her arts and helped jealous maids curse their enemies or young men woo their girls, etc. when she came into her own power. She became famous for summoning a fiend to help one of the reindeer tribes destroy an enemy tribe, so the bad guy heard of her and sent for her. He told her what he wanted, but she was the one who suggested birthing a nightmare. He was cold to the idea, so she egged him on for years as she guarded his castle, grain, and livestock against the ravages of the weather, fae, other miscreants. After 4 years of such loyal service, he acquiesced to her plan and set it into motion. Aside from a grandmother who was a very talented witch, she has no notable family or lineage. She received no revelations and had no greater ambition than the usual evil. She had a string of lovers early in life that sacrificed her children and them for power. She would like to be immortal, but knows that such a thing is impossible. Her name means strong grass.
Really like the she had no other aspirations but to do the usual evil.
Yep.
That was good. That was Is she like a Native American witch?
Well, okay, so it's complicated. It's super complicated.
Okay.
This particular woman is not. There's another character who sort of is, and also a Laplander mixed together. It's weird. Sorry.
You had your hand up.
Well, I'm not really a big like short story writer because I mostly write poetry, so I just made all of this up right now.
That's
So
cool.
it's kind of like a outline for a story and like a character synopsis. So my character's name is Skylar. She's a blue jay with an undertone of black feathers. She's a bird at the zoo. I want to make it like a San Diego zoo. Locked away in the bird exhibit with the rest of the birds. She's called Flyer because she's always trying to find a way out of the enclosure and would fly from fence to fence looking for an escape. Her best friend is a nightingale that lives in the enclosure. She as well has a love interest who is a cardinal. She is fearful of being trapped forever and yearns to be free. She was born in the enclosure like her best friend and has never left. Her love interest has been on the other side but has returned. She despises all the zookeepers except for one. The zookeeper's name is Lacey, and she's a young, bright woman who loves and cares about the birds. She has no Skylar has no family except a brother that lives inside the enclosure. She's afraid of abandonment and has trust issues. And I want to make it so that she witnesses like the zookeeper getting assaulted by another zookeeper, and see how like she deals with that.
I felt bad for this bird. It was
Okay. What was your name again?
Selena.
Selena. Sorry, I'm really bad with names and
Thank you.
animal. Cool. Who's next? Let's keep us rolling.
That's bad.
It's okay.
Oh shit, dude.
Huh?
The social person fine.
Oh, okay.
It's no big deal. We have 2 people left. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah, I guess I can go.
Go for it, Connor.
Alright,
What does this person do in your story?
fun fact, this isn't a story that I've actually made. It's one that I would definitely like to make, though. I wasn't able to write, like, enough of the backstory. Pretty much like this guy, he's an old guy an old, like, knight type of person who's kind of acts as, like, a cynical mentor to the younger, idealistic knight. That would be, like, more like the hero in the
These are
story.
medieval
So he's the
times.
knight in sour armor?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alright, so yeah.
Jason.
Alright. Gorgoth Flynn could once remember a time his homeland was not racked in fear. Born to one of the houses of the holy and descendant of Wurton the Stormslinger, Gorgoth had expected a life of ease within his family's noble estate and later in the clergy. However, 20 years after his birth, a fell force began to prey on his home. Hordes of undead began raiding the southeastern portion of the country, the lands held by Gorgoth's family. His brother, Stefan, a respected knight and lord of the Flynn estate, rallied the warriors of his land to fight against the undead scourge. They succeeded in repelling the undead army, but only at the cost of his life. Gorgoth was then named the head of his family after his brother's death. That was all I was able to write, because I found it hard coming up with all the names. But pretty much later on, pretty much everyone else in his family ends up getting killed by the undead, and being the only person left, he pretty much joins like this holy society of knights.
Dude, yeah.
The language is really good.
What are you basing this off of? Like, do you read a lot of medieval stories? Or,
Yeah, I don't know, I'm a big, like, fantasy fan. I played, like, Dragon Age. I'm also starting to read, like, Game of Thrones, so
Okay.
that's,
I wish you
that's
so much luck
definitely,
on
like, I don't know, that's definitely probably influencing my writing style for this.
yeah, dude.
Hey.
Cool. We will crack up.
Did everyone read
No,
it?
Dude,
I don't know.
next time.
Oh, you.
Hey, by the way, can you all collect them and put them over here? Like, I'd like to keep these, if that's okay.
It doesn't have notes on here.
Are you going to
Oh.
steal them?
I'm not gonna steal them. I'd like to upload. Is that not cool? Do you
It
not-
would be okay, except that I have it actually on a different piece of paper I need for something else.
If you don't want to turn this fine.
I don't know.
Well, we can send them to you.
Yeah, can we
Yeah,
send it to
we
you?
can send it to you.
Are you really gonna send them to
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Really?
I want mine though, but I'll send it.
Okay, fine. Then send it.
Okay.
I can type it up, I guess,
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah, I'll probably just email
If it
mine.
happens, that's you.
So social next Friday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Invite your friends.
Okay.
Will.